Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank, and I'm kind of a loser. With me is Ben. Hi, Ben.
On this planet, we could do great things.
Today we're talking about Venom.
Good shit.
Venom. Yeah, so I had Ben read a bunch of Venom comics.
There was a fucking lot of Venom comics.
Yeah, no. Don't worry. Too many Venom comics. I had him watch 3 episodes of the 90s Spider-Man show and the recent Venom movie. And we're going to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Venom stuff that I feel is why I couldn't settle on stuff is it's not like what you would call good, but I love it. It has a quality. There's a quality to it.
I mean,
I will also say I specifically did not pick stuff that included other symbiotes besides the new movie, or the movie, and so no Carnage stuff, which is some of the better Venom stories, I would say, of Eddie Brock Venom at least.
I mean, we can do.
So also we didn't cover any Flash Thompson Venom or anything. It was all Eddie Brock, mostly 90s stuff.
I mean, we can cover the Carnage stuff when the next movie comes out, right?
That's the idea. This will
yeah.
not be the only time we do Venom stuff. This was the starting point.
Yeah. I mean, I like the only Venom stuff I'd seen is from the Sam Raimi film. And was there like a PlayStation 2 game? Does that sound right? Was there a game where you could play as Venom?
You could play as Venom Ultimate Spider-Man on PlayStation 2.
Okay. That must have been it.
I think it was PlayStation 2.
That sounds right, because I think I remember renting a PlayStation 2.
You could play as Ultimate Venom, where you had to eat people to gain energy.
I don't remember that. I just remember being Spider-Man-ish, and also it was like evil Spider-Man, so I assume it was Venom.
Are you sure it wasn't Prototype?
I mean, we need a time machine to tell.
Well, Prototype was like the studio that made the Hulk game, made a game where you were kind of like Carnage-y, and you just ate people.
Oh, I know that game. I have that game. I played that game.
Yeah, that's a 360 game. 360 PS3.
I have there's a port, right? It's on Steam.
It's probably on PC too,
I played a bit of it.
Yeah.
It
felt like that Hulk game, except, you could do like symbiote stuff.
Yeah.
And just eat people. It was fun.
I mean, Venom is cool in several senses.
Sure.
I mean, I knew what the character was. I had a rough idea that there was versions of him, or are versions of him, where it's like anti-hero sort of stuff. I never encountered that. It was really, I like it. It's like, I mean, we've read other stuff with it, I guess, I'm sure. I can't think of a specific example, but like just that as a conflict for the hero in the stuff where he is a good guy ish. good
in like heavy quotes.
Yeah. Technically, semantically good guy.
When he murders people who are bad.
Yeah, when he decides to only eat bad people. Mostly, kind of.
Like,
with some exceptions.
He didn't really eat people till the hunger. It's like,
yeah,
that's like he would always say eat your brains, but he never actually ate anybody until the hunger.
Yeah,
in '96. But like then in that new movie, he's just eating people all the time.
I mean,
they don't hold back on the eating people.
The good guy thing felt like, if you've ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there's that, I don't know what the actor's name is. He gets like typecast as crazy guy in like fucking everything imaginable. And
I've never seen that show, so I don't know who you're talking about.
uh, actor guy. And at one point he's like, "Oh, we're doing like a hit. We're doing a kill job. Okay, that's cool. No kids, unless the kid's a dick." And I'm like, that sounds, that seems kind of like Venom's, like, only eat bad people unless I'm really hungry. Then I can eat anyone.
No innocence.
No innocence, except sometimes.
No innocence.
Hank, there was some innocence.
No. Where show me one innocent.
I mean, is this like a philosophical, like, we're all filthy sinners thing?
No, like an actual. Hey, show me one example.
I would, but I don't have the physical comic in front of me. I can't flip. I don't have flippability right now.
Okay. So, I'm going to selfishly start with where I started with Venom, where I was pretty sure this is where I was introduced, which is the cartoon, 1994's Spider-Man.
What a cartoon.
Spider-Man, the animated series.
Gotta say.
I need your impressions of only having watched these 3 episodes.
Yeah, so going from Spectacular Spider-Man to this was quite a fall from grace. I mean, I know it came out way earlier, but like,
yeah. Well, there's only like,
I
think there was only one series. No, there were technically there were 2 Spider-Man series in between. There's Spider-Man Unlimited that came after this that I didn't even like as a kid, where Spider-Man goes to an alien planet where like and everybody is like horse people or whatever.
Oh shit.
And then there was an MTV show, which was early CG, that looks like dog shit.
All right,
Spider-Man was played by Neil Patrick Harris.
Spider-Man.
So I remember about that. Spider-Man MTV.
Oof. Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, it just looks like garbage. I couldn't at the time. I was, like, when it came out, it looked like garbage. I was like I love rebooting Beast Wars, like the earliest of CG shows, and I was like, this is terrible. Well, yeah, the big thing about the '94 Spider-Man show is the animation is fucking bad. It's all over the place in terms of speed. Like one scene to the next, it's just not a consistent. It's the frame rate is all over the place.
The frame rate is weird, and I mean, it's a little bit of that, and I think a little bit maybe just actual like what was being animated. But sometimes they would over animate the weirdest shit. Like Jonah Jameson just sitting there talking, and like the amount of shit that his hands and face is doing is like ridiculous for a few seconds. I don't know if it's the frame rate or what, but it looks like that meme of like the king from like Legend of Zelda Virtual Boy or whatever the fuck, where he's like waving his finger around and like doing all the crazy motions. Like just it was weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, that same good. How old are they supposed to be in this? Is it high school or
college?
College.
No,
okay,
college.
That's a little better, but damn, they really
Spider-Man is thick.
Peter
Parker?
I mean, I feel like it's my
Light.
stereotype association with like the older comics, which I talked to you a little bit about while I was there, but everybody got a fucking jawline, bud.
Yeah, man.
Like, oh, it's crazy. People
Square-jawed heroes.
People looking like 50 years old.
He's got the latest fashion. He's wearing that teal polo shirt.
Yeah, of course.
Mary Jane's got that yellow sweater.
Ugh.
I don't even remember if Mary Jane's in those episodes. I don't think she is. We see Felicia.
In the cartoon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what we
Mary
watched.
Jane's there.
Okay.
Mary Jane's
Couldn't
there
remember.
because I remember there was one part where like the animation was a little wonky, and her and Peter had like the exact same jaw shape. Like her face was just a fucking box, and I was like, "What are you guys doing? How did this happen?" Bring back hot Mary
It's
Jane.
kind of all. The thing. So I don't know how you feel, but my take on the '94 show though is that it's not boring. Stuff's happening, which is more than I can say of older Spider-Man shows. Like I think it's just generally of like compared to the stuff the older shows like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, it's generally I find it more entertaining moment to moment.
Sure, I
And I think the writing can be okay. The animation is just fucking
it seemed
out of control.
it seemed fine. I think it's really just
Yeah.
we should have done it before Spectacular Spider-Man. Like, I'm just.
No, that's fine.
I think. Well,
I don't need you to like it.
No, but I think like. I'm trying to. I don't know how to best describe it because obviously there's stuff like that I can go back to that's worse than newer things in like other series or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Uh-huh.
But for this, I think it's just because like. I don't know. Like,
Well, I mean,
don't
like
have-
even at its time, this was competing with Batman the Animated Series, which is like amazingly animated. So even as a kid, I was like, I like this because it has like I like Spider-Man. It goes crazy with continuity in later seasons. Like just like you'll get like part 13 or whatever. Even though there was a mandate from Marvel to not do continuity stories, the guy who was in charge of it, just like by the end, was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do
Hell yeah.
whatever I want." But so yeah, like it was definitely like I love this show. I recognize it as lower quality than
Yeah.
some other stuff that at the time, for sure.
And I guess it felt. I think the thing that that stood out most because like the animation is whatever, like shit is wonky sometimes, meh, but it just felt like slower. I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I like the stuff
Yeah,
that was.
because you don't have the context of the stuff I'm comparing it to.
Yeah. No.
Which is,
Exactly.
I would say even slower.
Well. Yeah. Sure. I mean, we can keep going. We can keep going.
Yeah,
Down
but there
and
are
down.
older Venom. The older stuff is like pre-Venom, so we can't.
Yeah.
We don't have that comparison point.
But it was like when stuff was happening, it's fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and like this the idea of the symbiote coming in on the space shuttle comes from this show.
I guess when did it seems like maybe this was an interpretation. Well let me collect my thoughts. So Jonah
Sure.
Jameson seems much different in this cartoon, even just in the bits we saw. He seems not as wild, I guess, not as loud. And I was wondering, because of course I was watching for Venom, which means I focused on everything else.
Yeah.
Like how long has he been portrayed like in TV film medium? Is that like
Jonah?
Yeah, was he like did the
I mean, he goes back like he's in the 60s show.
Okay. Is he because the I can't what's the actor? Sam Raimi films? I can't it's escaping me.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Did he like it? I mean, it's to me it seems like he defined that role for everything that came afterwards. But I was just
Sure.
wondering like if Jonah Jameson was more reserved before that, or like what if that truly changed the character, or if this is just an interpretation. and I'm just noticing a quieter version or something? Because
Um,
he seemed more.
I
Yeah.
would say he's gotten they've leaned more into him as comedic,
Okay.
stronger, I guess.
Okay. That, you know what? That's
Um,
a good description. That's better than what I
whereas
said.
like, you know, originally with like you could just it was probably more likely to just read him as like a metaphor for anti-Semitism as anything.
Oh. Okay. Right.
Just irrationally hating Spider-Man and having that mustache, you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh. Great.
There are definitely people who've read it that way. That's just not where the
I
character is anymore. But
Yeah. I mean, I just noticed because, like, with his son and everything, it seems more. He seems more like, I don't know, like, isn't that great? Da da da. Like he's just
yeah, like this show invents the reason he hates Spider-Man is because his like wife was killed by someone wearing a mask, and that's a total invention of this show. I think.
gotcha.
We're getting like originally in the comics, like it's not explained. He just hates Spider-Man.
I mean, that's fair. Random hate
Yeah,
happens.
it does. It's not cool, but it sure happens. Loves Captain America.
I mean, I think back in the day, you had to fucking like Captain America, or you'd be blacklisted. Like,
I don't know. Loves his son,
that's
the astronaut.
Yeah.
His son who becomes a werewolf.
See,
He never
that's
becomes
just
a werewolf in
wild.
this cartoon either. But that happens in comics. He goes to space, of course. He needs to become a werewolf because of the moon, obviously. It's just 2 and 2, man.
Ugh.
I
God,
don't know.
fucking superheroes. Um, so I think the other thing I noticed from the cartoon, if I'm remembering right, because God, there was there was so much. I thought I read everything,
Yeah.
and then I watched the cartoon. And then after watching the cartoon, I'm like, fuck, I forgot the Ultimate Spider-Man thing. And I looked, and that's like 150 pages. I'm like, God damn it. So I read that. I watched the film at like, I think I started at like 11 p.m. But I think out of everything that I can remember, the cartoon version of Eddie Brock, it seemed like Spider-Man was like the least responsible for his life falling apart. Like he got like he lost his job or whatever because he fucking lied, like straight
Yeah.
up. And then he comes home and he's evicted. He's like, Spider-Man fucking got me evicted. I'm like, Spider-Man didn't have shit to do with this. Come on. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's so good though, but like
It's not that different from the original comic thing. It's just
sure.
like you don't have that eviction notice moment where he's like,
pretty good.
Spider-Man again. It's like, what? That is not possible.
And he like
That is not Spider-Man's fault.
like sneezes or whatever. He's like, my health. Like it's just so. I mean, like I get it. I fucking get it.
Man.
It's like, you know, the thanks Obama, but it's like Jesus.
Man, I watched those episodes when I was 7. I'm like, Venom is my favorite thing in the world forever now.
It's. I mean, like it's
That's
a
what happened.
It's a good version. It's a good
Yeah.
place to
I mean,
start with Venom.
it's so much the design, like the
Yeah.
big toothy mouth and the
Oh,
fucked up Spider-Man eyes.
I took some screenshots of not. I don't think of the cartoon, but like Venom. They really play.
Oh yeah, yeah. Venom, because Venom's like, I don't even the crazy thing to me though is like I don't even love the early Venom drawings, like the original stories he's in, drawn by Todd McFarlane. Like those aren't even my favorite. my favorite is actually. So now we should talk about Amazing Spider-Man number 374.
I cannot. Gun to my head, I couldn't tell you which one that is.
Which is the first comic book I ever got.
Amazing Spider-Man 374. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's the first comic. My parents bought it for me because I was into like Marvel trading cards, and I was super into Venom cards because Venom looks cool. Gotta get all the Venom cards.
Oh, right, this one. This nice early fucking Peter Parker. Whoops, guess I'm just human. Fucking bailing on the ice rink. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is like this is one where I totally just cut out the beginning and end of the story because this is like a 3-issue story. But I only ever had this issue, and I don't actually think those other issues make it better. I just love this issue where Venom just kicks the shit out of Spider-Man for a comic, and that's it. That's like
it's solid.
Like it's of all these comics, it's like. It might be my favorite just because, like, it's the purity of that. Of just Venom shows up and just kicks the shit out of Spider-Man and then leaves.
Yeah.
And, like, threatens to go... Is, like, gonna go kidnap Peter Parker's parents because this is a time where Peter Parker's parents were around. They turn out to be cyborgs. Murder cyborgs or something. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that tracks. And I would say,
and I just love this is Mark Bagley, who then also draws the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff like 10 years later.
So I think this is like my, at least as far as Venom and Spider-Man go, like,
yeah,
this is when I like especially Venom, when I imagine him, like, this is pretty much what I think of, like, especially that like on the cover, like that general size, physique, and everything, like, that's my go-to mental image. So this one was like, without having ever encountered it, it was like, yeah, this is Venom. This is what I'm familiar with somehow.
Yeah.
But no,
there's something like that's like cleanly defined about the way Bagley draws his mouth that I always loved. Whereas like a lot of the earlier stuff, it's just fucking all over the place. Like, I didn't show you any I didn't have you read any Eric Larson stuff, but he would draw Venom. He was like probably like the second person to draw him, and he would draw him with like a huge underbite. Like his bottom jaw would just go on forever.
Holy shit.
I was like, I'm not as much about that. Being honest, I like it's like the shape of the Spider-Man mouth, but then like this mouth is just opened up in it.
Yeah,
I don't really love when it like his head takes on a completely different shape. I love when he's talking to the fucking little girl, like saying, "We would never hurt you," and he's like his teeth all turn flat.
Yeah,
so like one panel.
Yeah,
and his eyes become more Spider-Man like. That shit's hilarious.
And the clown fucks him up.
The WAP.
A few, I mean, I guess it's also right near the end. By the way, great scan. I like all of these Shadowcat scans end with a nice like black and white erotic shot of like a chick, legs spread, transparent bodysuit, like, you know, a little something for when you're done.
Over that. Look, I own all these comics in physical. If I could have handed them to you, I would have, but
anyway, I guess it's a little bit after the clown thing where he catches Spider-Man's fist, just, you know, the iconic,
yeah,
and then he just like fucking throws him. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Like, it's just, he just completely destroys him, and like the reason, and it's so satisfying, and the story after it, issue 375, is just not satisfying at all. Like, the best thing is you get Eddie Brock like showing up in like a Venom jacket with a high collar. It's like there's one panel that's amazing, but the story is like his ex-wife convincing Venom not to kill Spider-Man, and then he like moves across the country to become the Lethal Protector, and that's how the That's how they kick off the series of Venom one shots. Yeah, it's just not satisfying. Whereas Venom just kicking the shit out of Spider-Man, that's great. I don't know the way you get to the satisfying ending, but early Venom stories did not find it. Generally, not satisfying endings to these
I didn't
fights.
I didn't notice it before, but I'm looking at it now. When the panel where he throws Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Pretty thick. Got those dummy cheeks.
Uh-huh.
Like my thing that I love, I mean, I guess maybe not early stuff as much. I'll be real, like the first stuff that I read, it's like kind of fuzzy at this point. But I just love when Venom is Ripley with muscles. It's good shit. And I mean, part of it is just Eddie Brock, like in the beginning of this one when he's like pumping iron and he's like, it's not enough. And he's like, I don't even know what this is. It looks like a train wheel axle.
Yeah.
And then Venom like pumps into his arms and he like lifts it and like busts it up. It's fucking great intro.
I think he tears it in half.
Yeah. But like Venom
smashes a mirror and like you see the reflections of Venom's face and the shards. It's so good.
Dude,
he's shouting, "Kill Spider-Man!"
Yeah,
that shit is so good.
That intro, that fucking like, what a way to start. It's a great
man.
bit.
I read that when I was, like 8 or whatever. I'm like, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Understandable. I mean, the follow up though, I had a good time with the ice rink pit. The boy's balance is downright uncanny. Like, yeah, okay, he can ice skate well. And he's like, I'm letting my Spider-Man abilities show too much. Whoa! Fucking bails.
Guess I'm just human after all.
It's so good.
Guess I'm not Spider-Man.
Yeah, right after he's like, oh shit. Oh, it's so good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess we should talk about the early Venom stories, the Birth of Venom, it's in the Birth of Venom trade, which also has a bunch of all the early black suit Spider-Man stuff.
Which one is? Literally Birth of Venom. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one was super.
Yeah, so I don't know how much of this you read because I told you to like skip the whole middle. There's some good shit in there, but
as a professional skimmer, I took in a good deal of it.
Yeah. I mean, all I want you to have done from these Venom comics is I'll look at the pictures of Venom. That's like the most important thing, honestly.
I mean, this one also had Black Cat in it, so I did get a little distracted.
Yeah, there's some Black Cat dynamic stuff. There's like, this is them bringing back Mary Jane into the story so that they can then get married shortly after this.
Oh, right. This is the one where fucking Aunt May looks like an actual skeleton. Like she's harrowing.
Yeah. The other super important thing that happens there is when the Fantastic Four take the black suit off Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man comes out in his new costume, which is wearing a Fantastic Four outfit and having a paper bag over his head, and he has a "kick me" sign on his back because Johnny's a dick.
I mean,
Paper Bag Man, the greatest of Spider-Man outfits.
I mean, I was way ahead of you. I definitely fucking took that little screenshot of barefoot baghead Spider-Man.
Hell yeah, dude.
What
is the significance of the paper bag?
The other thing I noticed, or that like stood out to me that I remember, the pumpkin head person. I don't remember his name, but
Jack-o'-lantern?
is it just Jack? It's just Jack-o'-lantern. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly think of a better name for a Pumpkinhead villain. That's cool shit.
Yeah.
Really, really into the
Jack-o'-lantern has never made sense.
why.
They've literally never given an explanation for that character. Like, he doesn't have a backstory.
I mean, it doesn't need one, dude. It's fucking cool stuff.
It's just like they've like hinted like they were gonna do it and then never got around to it.
So,
So Jack, there's the Flash Thompson Venom series. The main villain of that is a version of Jack-o'-lantern, and he's fucking cool as hell, and evil as fuck. But yeah, Jack-o'-lantern's great. He flies on a disc. He's just got this disc he hangs out on. I had a Jack-o'-lantern toy as a kid that I really liked.
I mean, when I was, I guess not like super young, but still comparatively a baby, like preteens, I got super into the power metal band Halloween. And like it was just all I fucking listened to for like, I don't know, 3 years or more. Nice. Just a ton.
Nice.
So like that pumpkin design, I'm just like it just strikes a chord. So I'm like, this is cool as hell. Like it's it's simultaneously metal as fuck without being like, but also the right level of corny. I don't know. It's good shit. I just didn't know this character existed. So
yeah, fair enough. He was never been on like any of the. I don't know if he's been in the cartoons I haven't watched, but he wasn't in any of the ones I have watched. So I've never seen like an adaptation of him outside comics.
Gotcha.
Because he's kind of just the Green Goblin.
Yeah, he seemed like that. Well, I mean, we had a bit of him and the Hobgoblin.
And Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are a lot of characters kind of the same. But I don't know.
Yeah,
And also like you could just tell a story about Ghost Rider instead or whatever. I don't know. If you just wanted someone whose head was on fire.
There has to be a pumpkin head though.
True. Also, one of these comics, we get that image of Peter being grabbed by the Spider-Man suit and the black costume that we get in the dream sequence in the 90s cartoon, an adaptation of.
Yeah.
As like that as the representation of him fighting for his identity. Mm-hmm. That's the classic one.
Dude, I mean, it's still like the Spectacular Spider-Man was the cartoon is, I mean, it's really great in a lot of ways, but holy shit, like him fighting with for his identity is still that's out of all of these, it's easily the best version. Like God, it's so fucking good.
Well, yeah. They have like just a much better idea of what they're doing, like
I mean,
that and like how important a story that is, too. Like it's kind of wild for as much as like the 90s cartoon like made me love Venom. Venom is in like 3 episodes of that show. Like he comes back for like I think like 1-2-parter where they introduce Carnage later on, and that's it. And that's wild considering how popular that character was in the 90s, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's also the thing of like comic book writers in the 90s Marvel didn't want to tell stories about Venom. They just felt like they had to because he was so popular. That's why it's not an ongoing, it's like running miniseries. It's so fucking weird. That's why he becomes like a protagonist of stories.
I mean, it's good shit though.
I mean, the stuff with him as a villain is kind of just better, but yeah.
I mean, I like it because you can do both, you know? that turmoil is built in.
Sure.
It's also just,
Yeah.
after watching Peter Parker be a little bitch for so long, it was nice to finally have a Chad like Eddie Brock in the driver's seat.
That like classic moment of like the first Venom reveal where Mary Jane gets home and just sees like the eyes and the spider symbol and thinks it's Peter in the black costume. And then fucking Venom mouth comes up and he's just like, "Hi, honey, I'm home."
Dude, so
just
good.
Fucking terrifies her.
Yeah.
And just leaves. Like immediately just dips.
Oh yeah, he
She's
just fucking,
like
he's out.
there crying when Peter
Yeah,
gets home.
he shows up and she's just like fucked up.
Yeah. And then Spider-Man gets a gun to shoot Venom with. The big purple gun.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I don't love like the Peter in the black costume versus Venom. Like that's just on the page like clutter of those costumes being two the same.
Yeah. Well, dude, even that, like, who the hell was it? Like that random old dude who was like robbing a house or whatever.
Yeah.
Like even that, I was like, why you gotta do this to me? Reading this comic, I mean, maybe it's the age, or if this is like not a great example, but like the visual clutter. Like the tag, maybe it's just also like a bit of the line work, but like everything, like it feels like there's just so much. Like this was, I mean, it's the biggest thing we read, even like skimming, but even then, it just felt like it took forever, and I don't know why. I think it's like the line work makes it feel very busy, but like
Oh yeah, I mean this is Todd McFarlane. He's like his art is extremely just over detailed, like just drawing too many webs. That's like it's classic, and I just never like it because like he created Venom, and then he goes on to create Spawn, the creator of Spawn, and I like some like his monster design stuff, but like in practice in comics, I do think it's like busy.
yeah.
I agree with that.
That and like going through all of these at once, it's not a true annoyance, but I was like, holy shit, like please stop explaining things. Like, please. I forget which thing it was we read, but there was definitely, I had taken a bunch of screenshots where they referenced the same, like a negative zone, a negative something zone, and they said the same exact thing like 4 times in the space of 2 panels. And I'm like, for the love of Christ, I understand. It wasn't even between issues, like refreshing the kids the next week. It was like, did the child forget between this panel and the next that the negative zone does this thing? And it was just that same sort
Maybe
of
the
deal.
writer did.
So just a little bit of that sort of thing. And then like the weekly stuff, right? Like all the last issue stuff, but that's, it's whatever. But it's just a little.
I guess the other huge moment in this that I love is just the like Eddie Brock showing up to Aunt May's front door.
Yeah, just there.
I love that shit. They do that shit in the 90s cartoon. Eddie just showing up is so good. Peter's just so mad.
I mean, understandably. Also that shit with fucking, like, I don't, because it's, we have the larger, like, Spider-Man stuff going on, and just, like, I'm like, who the fuck is Nathan? Like, he just showed, at first I'm like, is this, like, a universe where Uncle Ben is alive? And then they call him Nathan, and then he, like, stabs someone, so that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
them falling into the meat and Spider-Man has to bail and Venom's like laughing at him. It's good stuff.
Yeah. And like this volume ends the same way the Spider-Man thing in Spectacular did, of Peter telling the suit to rejoin him.
Yeah.
But like in the comic, it like just doesn't work because of the bonding, which is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the next, and like then there's a Spider-Man Venom story that ends with like Venom thinks he killed Spider-Man. They just leave Venom on an abandoned island by himself and just don't tell him. And like, and then like one day they need his help. I think like when Carnage shows up, so they go and get him on this island or something. And he's like, "What? You're alive? I thought you were dead." He was just like living happily on an island, thinking he killed Spider-Man, content with his life.
Amazing. That's good.
Let's talk about Avengers Deathtrap the Vault.
Avengers Deathtrap the Vault. What a fucking event.
Which I own under where they just branded it as Venom Deathtrap the Vault.
Oh.
like later printings, they just took at some point like when Venom was a bigger name than Avengers, because there was a time when like no one's gonna buy an Avengers comic, they'll buy a Venom comic, which seems wild. Think about how popular the Avengers are now, but that was a thing that was true.
I mean,
so I bought it as a Venom comic.
As someone who thinks the Avengers are fucking lame, yeah, I see it.
Hell yeah.
I would, if you labeled something as Venom over Avengers, that's a good way for me to check it out.
Yeah.
So
and I just like this because this is Venom as a villain, but also not like just a whole different take on it.
Oh, dude, totally.
And he's so like scheming and like leading, but also like completely out for himself. Like it's just there's like a lot of good dynamics going on with this group of villains who are trying to escape from this super prison, and the Avengers come in to stop them. But there's just a lot going on.
The Avengers come in, and yet the Avengers don't look anything like the cinematic universe Avengers. Explain yourself.
It's true. Like, who is this event? Like, what's our full roster here?
Iron Man,
Godlike.
Hawkeye, the Vision, the Wasp, She-Hulk, and Wonder Man.
What a lineup. What a lineup.
I mean, really, the big offense in this comic is that I hate everything that the Blob is.
Oh, why do you hate the Blob?
I hate the Blob.
He's very fat.
I don't like that. I'll say
He's
it.
like really fat. That's his mutant power.
I hate that. It's a mutant power. Like, he's just fucking blobby.
He's just the Blob, you know?
But what if he went away?
There's a...
It
is funny that he's a fucking, like, scab and, like, sells out all the other villains.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's ready. Mystique is an X-Men, right?
She's
at some point. She's like a mutant. She's involved in those films.
Oh, yeah, in the film, they
Like,
make her a good guy. Played by Jennifer Lawrence. Mostly because she's played by Jennifer Lawrence in the later ones is why she's a good guy. I think she's only a bad guy in the first set.
I mean,
also, she like doesn't talk, and they decided instead of like letting her wear clothes, we'll just paint her body blue and cover her in tiny little scales that take like hours to put on, and then she won't talk. That'll be our take on this character.
see, I haven't like seen it.
Never in comics was that character a mute, but then in that movie,
like, I mean,
like only talks when she's like morphed into someone else, I think.
yeah. Without having seen those films much, or like, I mean, I've seen bits and stuff, and especially like, I guess some people really like some of the Mystique sequences or something, so I've seen some of those over the years, but this immediately seemed like a cooler version. Like this Mystique was pretty cool, like as the leader of those possible heroes.
Yeah. The thing with Mystique is like she can kind of, because she's a shapeshifter, but also like her purpose or what like kind of character she is has just changed. Oh, it's gone like covered all degrees of the spectrum, I guess.
Yeah.
Like super evil to good guy.
Yeah.
Like, depending on what era you're in. Yeah.
As far as Venom goes, in this little thing, he's slobbering a lot.
This is a slobbery Venom.
They got
That's
that.
true.
They got that. Just
A
constantly.
little I don't mind. I don't mind a little slobber, as long as his like again, as long as his mouth isn't like also drooping. That's when I'm like, that's a little much. I have to find an Eric Larson drawing of Venom to show you.
See, it's
Just because I'm mentioning so much.
It's fine, but also, how would childhood me be able to read this comic while eating my cereal?
Oh, that's true. I don't know, man. Maybe you just couldn't.
Also, Captain America said the thing in this comic.
Avengers Assemble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they just like?
He says it a lot.
I mean, yeah. It seems like someone would get angry at him eventually. Like, dude, we're already. What the fuck do you mean assemble? We're in the same room. Just say attack.
No. There is a comic where Spider-Man tries to say it, and then everybody does that to him. But people will do that to Captain America.
Lame.
Captain America knows when to say it, okay? That's what I'm saying.
This is
Spider-Man less. Spider-Man was more like, I just wanted to say it. I wanted to be the one to say it.
Yeah, this is certainly a Venom. That's a big old lower jaw. That's too much lower jaw.
It's just like a lot of lower lip and teeth.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude could get a lot of chew in that mouth.
You just can't.
Big old dip.
Like, kind of like, you can't chew. Because your
Oh,
chompers, your front teeth don't connect to anything.
Not chew like he's going to chew food. Chew like a big old fucking lip of tobacco in there.
Yeah. You just like.
Just stuffed.
You just like stuff it with tobacco and drool everywhere.
That's what we got going on.
Ugh. That's not cereal friendly.
It's not.
It's not. That's not cereal friendly.
Oh, I have like the world's least cereal friendly anecdote about that, but we can skip it for now. It's too early in the morning. Yeah, that's a big lower jaw.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the part at the end where like the dude's like, well, doesn't matter. We're both gonna die. And Venom's like, you're right, but you're gonna die a little sooner than everyone else. Just fucking throws him off.
It's so good, dude.
I like the ha-ha-has and the no.
No.
And the ha-ha-has coming off Venom. It's so funny.
Pretty good.
And he's just like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. And they get shot in the back. That's it. Avengers, radioactive man, save the day.
Loving the Iron Man design.
Yeah, this is a good Iron Man design. I like this one.
I'm a slut for the combination of like the tighter leg arm stuff and then like beefy shoulders, hands, and feet.
Yeah, he looks like a WoW character.
yeah, you gotta get those fucking. It's all about the shoulders.
His shoulders could be bigger.
They could be. Man, can you fucking imagine?
Feet, man, on this last page, his feet are out of control.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, he's wearing fucking buckets on his feet. It's great. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that final, well, it's not in your version, but that final page, one of the better Shadowcat scan images. Just a real, it's like it's sexy. It's like right on the edge of slutty, but I don't even feel comfortable calling this a bodysuit. But it's, you know, pretty good. Good angle, good lighting. The woman looks to be blonde, so that's like kind of that sucks. But otherwise, good stuff. Good comic.
Before we get it, this is a later comic, but I just want to talk about the last like standalone issue.
Oh yeah, we can jump around.
Is DC Marvel All Access issue 1 of 4. Because it's the only issue of that series that had Venom in it, which is like, it's just because Venom beats up Superman in this comic.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
great.
he kicks the
as a childhood fan of Venom, just seeing Venom just kicking the shit out of Superman and Spider-Man at the same time, I was like, this is the best.
It's really good.
I love it. Like literally has like Superman by the neck in one hand and Spider-Man by the neck in the other hand. Just good times. He starts like suffocating Superman with goop.
Yeah, he really
It's like he
does a number.
like, Superman punches him and he's like, whatever, I fought the Juggernaut.
I like.
I don't know. They just made Venom like incredibly overpowered in this issue.
I was gonna say
until he gets shot with the Sonic.
Like, I mean, my image of Superman is still that he's literally like a god, unless kryptonite is involved.
Yeah.
Did they just like power? They had to power him down over time, right?
Yes, this was a period where they were into powering him down, I would say.
Okay. It's like, I was like, how the fuck is... I've never been one to like debate, you know, like which hero or villain would win in a fight, but like it seems like Superman should just win against like everything. So
I mean, I think this is like the Superman that dies fighting Doomsday. Like this is like Death of Superman.
Doomsday or Doctor Doom?
Doomsday. Doomsday is a rock monster.
Oh, Darkseid. You mean Darkseid?
Nope.
He's a little
No.
rocky. Why did they all start with
Doomsday.
D? They all got Doom, Dark.
Well,
it's too much.
Doomsday is at least like
Doctor.
like he's a character created in the 90s. So literally, he was created to be the big rock monster that murders Superman.
I mean, yeah, why not?
His entire point. Oh, I guess they didn't give Superman the mullet till after he came back.
What a
So this
sentence.
is post death of Superman. I mean, he had a mullet in the 90s. I don't know why, but they did that to him.
I mean, you know, you got to appeal to the American working class heroes.
That's Doomsday on the left.
Kind of a... I mean,
It's got spikes, dude.
I was going to say, the longer I look, like, I was going to say the design is kind of but the longer I look, the more I like it. Got a lot of spikes.
Also, he showed up looking more like this, where he was like in this green suit, and then by the end, all that's left are the shorts.
Hell yeah.
As he like fights through all the DC superheroes.
Nice.
So like him and Superman like die punching each other.
Fuck yeah. Rocky freeze frame.
But then it turns out Superman's not dead. He's just like in a coma.
Yeah, because every comic creator is a coward. If you love your character, you'll kill them off forever at the end of a run. Just saying.
I mean, that has nothing. The creators probably would do that if more often if they could. But the companies that own these characters as brands,
Yeah.
they need them to keep going.
Yeah.
Also, like that story was about then they introduced 4 fake Supermen.
Ugh.
Eradicator, fucking Cyborg Superman, Superboy, who's got sunglasses and a cool jacket and a cool haircut. He's got a fade, and Steel, who's John Henry Irons.
Is there a super guy?
Not in main continuity Superman, I don't think.
Okay. Well,
there's a
missed
super
opportunity.
There's a super horse.
Thought you were gonna say super
date-
whore.
There's super horse. He dated Supergirl.
I mean, I'll bet that was fan artist had a field day.
I mean, he was a person that transformed into super horse.
So
Like-
BoJack Horseman, but less sad. Oh, Super Guy is just Superman, like all the powers, all the looks and charm, but he's just a guy. You know, he walks around. He doesn't fight crime. He occasionally lifts a heavy thing at his home. That's it.
I mean, aren't you just talking about like One Punch Man at that point?
I guess. Though in my head now, the difference is that Superman is weaker than One Punch Man, at least currently. I don't actually know the current status of One Punch Man in the manga, though. So
Me either. I assume you can still take out everyone with one punch, or else what are you doing?
I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty fucked up. Like I could see whenever they finish that manga, I could see like the final battle taking 2 punches, and that's like the
From
big
now on,
fucking,
I'm Two Punch Man.
yeah, like that's
This
his-
day forward. No longer One Punch Man.
I mean, I still love that.
Although
concept,
it's even, I don't even remember if he's actually called One Punch Man, or that's just the.
I think that's just the name of it. Maybe at some point
Yeah.
when maybe he's become a hero in the manga already. I've only watched this show, and in the show, like it's great because everybody thinks he's like a kind of like mediocre hero, even though he's stronger than all the like main list people. But no, I mean, it was great watching Venom in this comic like beat the shit out of Superman and that sort of thing. As you're well aware, that's still a concept I like. I haven't gotten my fix. I haven't encountered enough like infinitely powerful beings who can't be defeated, so it's not a boring thing to me yet.
Yeah. Whereas it kind of is to me.
Which is, yeah, I mean, fair.
But I actually love Superman more. So it goes.
More like Superman.
Look, the thing about Superman is he's strong enough to punch a laser beam. That's like the important idea of Superman to me, is he punches a laser in the first Max Fleischer like
Guess it's
Superman
pretty good.
animated short,
That's pretty
which is
good.
fucking amazing. It's him just punching a laser beam all the way back. That shit's just fire. So now I gave you 3 of the Venom miniseries to read.
Yes.
Which is like the 4th one, the 10th one, and the 13th one. Because the 13th one is where they introduce the Venom eating people and eating chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah. That the movie does.
I really like these. I really, really like these stories.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Sinner Takes All was fine, I guess, but the what were the other 2?
Sinner Takes All, the problem is the last issue, the art is so much worse.
Yeah, it was
at the
pretty
end.
wonky.
I really like the art up until that point, but or at least like the Venom drawings specifically.
The hunger and
Also, that one has like just like Venom being overpowered. He's like standing in a burning building and like pushes down the supports to make it all fall on him to put out the fire.
yeah.
So that
Oh, dude, it's
that
good
shit
shit.
was good.
Hunger and Madness though were like super fucking good. Like I love that that descent into like just being all fucked up and having to deal with it. Like, oh, it was so good. It was so cool to read through.
I had 2 of like Venom the Madness toys where he's just super like hulked out with like so many heads on him.
Yeah.
I had one that was like regular Venom, and then I had one that was like green Venom, just a green variant to it.
I mean, it did get it. I don't know. I guess in the context, it's important. Like I don't know. I don't want to fucking sound like an ass. The stuff in the Madness #2, where he is with his Beck. He's with Beck, and like it gets really no bueno.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, of course it's like horrifying, but also like, I mean, it's good in the sense that like it's fucked up, I guess. Like it doesn't feel like a, I mean, it's not fucking Berserk is basically what I'm getting at. It's not fucking Berserk, and it's not that scene in what is it? Yakuza Apocalypse. It's not that, you know? Like,
yeah,
it's still fucked up, but it fit in, I think, and it was, yeah. But no, all of this was, I mean, and the stuff with Juggernaut was like, I mean, pretty good.
Yeah.
With him just being like,
and that art is just fucking weird.
yeah, no, like it was
for like comic book art, it's not, for superhero comic book art, it's pretty out there. And Venom gets all those heads.
He has all those heads on a shitload of heads. Yeah,
that's really all I think about this comic. I don't think about it as a story. I think about it as the story where Venom gets a lot of heads and fights the Juggernaut. So,
oh, that the madness, like super. I like that shit. I wish. I mean, this was what, like, watching the 2018 film. I was like, I wanted more of that, but I'm like, nah, people weren't fucking ready to handle that shit. They only just got into the multiverse. You can't fucking.
People aren't ready for the realm of insanity.
People are not ready for a dark black metal knight Batman event.
That's true.
Everybody should have to experience that the way I did, but on film. No lead up, no previous, no build up, no previous films. Just dive right into a 4-hour film that's incomprehensible.
I'm all about it.
Oh.
Also, at the end of the story, he says, "We'll be back." And then they just put out another Venom story. Next month. I don't know. It's weird. He just puts the creep away, and then I don't think the creep ever comes back as a thing.
Yeah.
Ever again.
Hunger was very good.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed Hunger. That fucking alien vibe though. It's really good.
Strong Aliens 5. This one also, the art is like fucking weird.
I mean, yeah, it's very
kind of it's distinct. I did pick ones with more visual, that were more visually distinct, I guess, and less that were more about being weird art than some of the other stories are like specifically like this one meets the Punisher or whatever.
Yeah.
I specifically held off on the Or and there were lots that involved other symbiotes around this time.
I guess my thing with hunger, is this the one where it ends? Yeah, this is the one where it ends with the box of chocolates, right?
Yes.
I mean I love the stuff that they're doing in general with like, you know, it needs a certain chemical and shit, but
Yeah.
it seemed like earlier there were vibes of like, I mean at first it's like Eddie's in love with the thing, right? He's like going to the movies with it and like holding its hand or whatever. Like it's coming out of his skin to hold him. Like that shit was great. And then like, I mean, I guess it's kind of one of the same, like if he's like just so attached to it, but also like that addiction vibe. I don't know. It's really, I dig it. And just him like, I mean the shit with that doctor at the end, and like Venom's like going into the dude's mouth and everything.
Oh yeah, that one shot backup ish story.
Yeah. And that's right. I'm like quickly scrolling through that fucking shot. I was gonna take a screenshot, but I didn't. Where it's Venom just fucking huge, and he's like, and get ready to boogie. He's just giant. He's so big.
Get ready to boogie, dude.
Get ready to boogie. Oh, love it.
And then he sings "Let's Dance." He sings that fucking David Bowie
Yeah,
song.
yeah, he's just doing it. It's good shit, dude.
That went over my head when I read that comic originally, I will say. The fucking David Bowie song.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But I love like Larry Hama introduces the idea of like, oh, the symbiote needs this chemical. It's in human brains. That's the Venom's going to start eating people's skulls and not be able to eat actual food after all these years for some reason. And then the answer turns out to be, you just got to get it some chocolate every once in a while.
Turns out.
And it's just like funny how like just that just becomes part of Venom lore forever from then on. Like that wasn't a part of Venom previously, but now it's important. Venom, you gotta give him chocolate, dude. You gotta give him chocolate. It's in those new Venom movies, so it's like endured in a way.
Is it in
that, like,
is the chocolate thing in there? They didn't have chocolate.
It's kind of it's implied at the end of the movie, but it's in the trailers for the Carnage movie.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the Carnage thing at all, and I missed the implication.
Yeah.
I remember him having the extensive chat about like, we only eat bad guys, and then the dude comes into the store and Venom's all like, bad guy? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean the chocolate bit's pretty good.
Yeah. And then the center takes all. The important part is that's where we get Chi Venom, or Venom with boobs.
Hell yeah, we do. Fucking hold it out on me all the time. All this time. Venom rolls in, tit it up, cheek all the way, tongue out.
Like, a comic book I definitely owned when I was, whatever, 10. 8? I don't know. Somewhere around there. Yeah. And which is also they do that in the movie too.
Yeah, they do.
It's kind of like the most important thing about doing this story is just that they adapt that part.
I mean, and what a good part to adapt.
We have Eddie Brock's long hair in these stories. Because he's just a fucking hobo. Or he's been homeless for so long at this point.
I mean, he's still clean shaven though.
It's true. He never grows. I think he just doesn't grow a beard.
Just maybe Venom. You know what? Maybe Venom just like shaves. You know, lets him get a clean cut in.
I don't know, because then he would go back. Why is his hair growing out?
Venom doesn't do.
See,
Venom only learned how to do.
Good guys. Good guys only grow long hair.
I guess.
In the 90s, is that it? I don't know. Bad guys have flat tops. Good guys grow out their hair. I don't know.
Really,
I don't know why that happens, but it's a thing that happens.
what the hell in Sinner Takes All? What the fuck is with the B story at the end of every comic? With the jury?
Yeah, they're just vault guards. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Okay. I was
about it.
disappointed with
I've
that.
I mean I've read it and like I don't fucking know.
Well,
But they were doing B stories in Venom comics for a while, and like I think this is where it starts.
I fucking.
But like the next one is about like Hybrid, who's like they take 4 of the symbiotes and fuse them into one super symbiote. So it's like got more going on. But
I mean, I fucking read all of them.
these are just like
In the first one,
just like
in the first one, they
comps.
mentioned that
I don't know.
her dad or whatever was in the vault when like all these people escaped, and I think Venom made a brief appearance or something. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna bring it back. They're gonna circle back around, and they just fucking don't. They don't. I got burned.
It just doesn't happen. Like it just never matters.
And it was a shit
He
story.
fights the tarantula.
It was a shit story, you know.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck didn't she? I mean, unless they followed it up with her turning on that entire team and she becomes the villain and kills all of them. Like, if they don't do that, it's shit. That's my take on that.
That's hilarious. I had never looked at who the writer of this was. It's Dan Slott.
I don't know who
Who
that
goes
is.
on to like he he writes like a great era of Spider-Man comics. Like he takes over as like the main Spider-Man writer in like the late 2000s. I forget when it happens. It's after the Brand New Day stuff, but he like I love his Spider-Man run, and he writes like Superior Spider-Man and like up to Spider-Man issue 700 where he introduces the Red Goblin,
Jesus.
which is Norman Osborn with the Carnage symbiote.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
That's the issue he goes out on. And he before he did a lot of superhero stuff. He wrote like kids like comics based on kids cartoons or whatever, like Looney Tunes or Ren and Stimpy comics.
Yeah.
I think, and stuff like that. It's wild because this story sucks, but he's a good writer.
I mean, I thought the writing was fine. I thought the writing was good. I mean, the plot just didn't do what I wanted.
It's like,
to.
yeah. I mean, this is definitely a situation where like he's working in very confined space. Like,
Yeah.
he gets to write about these vault guards who are just prison guards with armor.
we
And there's some robots.
Yeah. And
the
it's
tarantula shows up.
and like why I mean, maybe the story was better like before, like
No, I read it at the time, Ben. It wasn't good then either. It's like, why is this not better? Why is this in here?
really we need to talk about the most important thing to come out of these Venom Sinner Takes All comics.
Sure.
That fucking panel that you showed me a while back where it's like, that Venom, what an enigma. With just the
What an enigma.
with the worst fucking art of all time. That one the dude on the right, his face, I looked at his face for so fucking long. Like, I was just the perfect amount of tired. I was almost in tears. Like, I was just laughing. Like, and I couldn't look away.
Yeah.
It was so fucking good.
I feel like people who got the job to draw Venom got the job based on being able to draw Venom and not being able to draw people. Because like his the Venom in this comic is like okay, but the humans are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, the shit with jokes aside about her wanting to step on my neck, Chick Venom is dope. And that was also a good
Yeah,
like
except for the part where she's like always traumatized about having murdered people afterwards, but
I mean, that's the conflict, you know.
like honestly, it would be better if like it were a character who was like into it at all, like at all, like even a little bit, who didn't like feel violated every time it happened.
But the story is her learning to embrace herself as a slimy murderer.
Look, this story doesn't. I'm pretty sure her story just ends with her jumping out a window eventually.
Don't they all?
It's just like some writer gets tired of her and then nobody ever brings her back.
I like the character or like Chick Venom.
Yeah, that specific, like Eddie Brock's ex-wife.
Does Chick Venom get any like standalone runs?
No, there's another, like there are other female symbiotes,
Sure.
but no, I don't think there.
I
there
mean,
is.
Spider-Gwen aside.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen is the thing.
Which I also was gonna like
But-
look at briefly because that was
Yeah.
such a good bit.
But like there are other girl symbiotes that aren't like just someone
Yeah.
like Venom giving his suit to his ex-wife. It's also, as a kid reading the story, I was like, why is Eddie Brock's ex-wife such a big character in these stories? Why is that the dynamic?
Look, you don't know what the writer was going through.
The Hunger and Sinner Takes All are written by Larry Hama, who's like famous for inventing G.I. Joe.
Oh. The American hero.
Yeah. They wrote a shit ton of G.I. Joe comics, wrote a bunch of other stuff. Most known for creating G.I. Joe, though. And writing a shit ton of G.I. Joe comics.
Oh no, these
That I think was in the military.
I think these well, yeah, I guess these three. Probably my favorite of the comic stuff that we did.
Sure.
Yeah.
These are you liked Venom as the anti-hero?
The anti-hero, or even just like had he been the villain, I like the idea of like him being conflicted, right? Like the fact that Eddie Brock is not just a fucking monster who's like, goddamn Spider-Man getting me evicted, I'm gonna tear his head off, and then he's just like, whatever.
Sure. Like, yeah.
I
Like particularly the Hunger is like a big step in like trying to make Eddie Brock a character.
yeah.
Because like he really isn't at first.
Well, I mean, he's a Chad.
He's like the vehicle for Venom.
Yeah. No, he's just an angry ball of muscle for Venom to latch on.
Yeah. Yeah. He
So
was like about to kill himself in that first comic.
yeah. So no, seeing more of that, and like it's such a, I don't know, like there's that space that just it seems obvious, at least in hindsight, I suppose, but like that literal madness or like the hunger and all that shit that would like what it would do to you, or like when they were looking at, I guess that was in Hunger, when they're like examining his brain and they're like, it's just totally drained of this chemical, dude. Like it's just absolutely gone, and like how that would fuck you up, like that sort of thing. So that's a good, I enjoy that shit a lot.
After the Hunger, he becomes a secret agent He gets a license to kill.
Well, now you've gone and ruined it. You're taking away the magic.
And that's
You took away
after
the
he
magic.
goes on trial. You get Venom on trial.
That sounds
You get Venom
fucking
license to kill.
terrible. Venom on trial sounds like
they bring in his. I think his lawyer is Daredevil, and then they bring in Carnage as a witness, and that goes bad, as you might expect.
I mean, look, supervillains and heroes in the courtroom sounds like a great fucking idea for a TV show.
That's also the second time they've told a story with Venom going on trial.
Jesus.
The first time he like fakes his own death. I think. But you do get Venom in like a Venom judge outfit. So it's not all it's not a total loss.
So do we just have Ultimate Spider-Man?
I think
that the last one?
yes, now it's Ultimate Spider-Man and then the movie.
Which the Ultimate Spider-Man like simultaneously really like and also despise the art. I do not like the
Really?
proportions and that sort of thing. They like freak me out a little. I don't know. There's something about the faces and everything. I'm not a huge fan, but the coloring is so good. Like looking at Peter Parker is kind of the worst, but Spider-Man in these comics looks cool as hell. I really love that design.
Yeah, it
works well
this
there.
Is way more. This is much more modern.
Yeah,
coloring.
yeah. That darker shading and stuff.
Yeah,
Real
like
nice.
after they've like figured out how to do computer coloring or whatever. Also, like notable, the Venom symbiote that Venom has like never bonds with Peter, so Ultimate Venom doesn't have the spider symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't like, personally. Then he just looks like a weird blob monster. Without that definition. But
I mean,
yeah,
I didn't take too much away from this.
it's just like the big thing is just that this is the story that introduces the idea of like Brock and Peter's parents knowing each other, and like the symbiote being a thing their parents worked on together.
The big thing. Oh, I mean, first off, the things I took away were this take on Eddie Brock, where he's just like, "You're 15, so come on, don't be that way." So there's that, and then when his roommate is like, "Yeah, he just eats Cheetos all the time, and he's kind of a weak piece of shit." This coming off of him bench pressing the fucking train axle, like.
Yeah,
It's just so good, like getting to see him being like a scrawny bitch.
Yeah.
So that's what I took away.
Piece of
chiefly.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like Bendis doesn't return to Venom for like 100 issues or something, and then it's like there's like a story that's just like he's hanging out on a park bench and just eating people. Just like, that I was kind of all about when he brings him back. He's just like as just a monster.
What the hell is up with Gwen in this? Like she's living with Peter, and
yeah, because her dad has been killed at this point. I think.
Also,
Captain
like
Stacy's been killed.
They drew her with a really old kind of witch face. I don't know. I feel like she got done dirty. I don't mean like bitch. I mean literally she looks like she could be a witch.
Well, she does become Carnage in this continuity.
I mean, that sounds cool.
Well, she dies.
That's cool.
And then like the version of Carnage in this is like a clone of her specifically or something. But then she gets better from Carnageness, and then she's just
as you do.
Then they do a thing of like going from like Peter and when they're like super like just their like brother. They think of each other brother and sister, and then like a few issues later, they've reset the continuity, and then they're just constantly making out, and it's a little weird.
Nah. I gotta cash in on that Game of Thrones shit. Even if Game of Thrones wasn't around.
It is the first time they like fake pretend to kill Ultimate Peter before they do it for real. So, but then Gwen ends up just outliving Ultimate Gwen ends up just outliving Peter because Peter dies.
Sounds like the best outcome for everybody.
Because his villains find out his secret identity.
Look,
and he fights them to the death in front of his house. He dies because the truck explodes. It's stupid.
Man. I mean,
but then Miles is great, so it's fine.
Yeah. Just putting it like in the context. Without the context, it just sounds like he fought all the villains in front of his house. He won, but like he got in a car accident later. Like that's what it sounds like initially.
Like a tanker explodes.
But yeah, no, this was. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah,
it was a good story, at least.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man is way more of like a single like long run.
Yeah, than
just like
it's
dipping
nice.
into. Like, you talk about like making comics more accessible. It was accessible at the time. It just ran long enough that it eventually the Ultimate Universe just became comics.
Ooh.
Also, some of it started out real fucking rough. Like basically everything except the Spider-Man stuff started out fucked up. So there was also that to deal with.
Yeah.
Also, like Spider-Man, if you want a lot more Nick Fury involved in your Spider-Man, it's the Spider-Man run for you.
Yeah.
But it has good stuff.
So the film.
And then there's the film starring Tom Hardy.
So, am I correct? Maybe I missed something. Is this like nearly or entirely segregated from the rest of the Marvel Universe? At least so far? Is it even in it?
Yeah, because it's... I don't think so. Because I think it's still, like, Sony holding on to the rights. And, like... They didn't put any stuff that would tie it to Marvel, even though... Like, it doesn't have any connection to Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, in the beginning it said... I think, like, in association with Marvel? Or something.
Yeah,
but it didn't.
Yeah, but it's not like the like money split they have to do with the Spider-Man movies or whatever.
Yeah,
or whatever deal that they made there.
I mean, it's
not the same.
Like, it's a Marvel character though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what that means is that OG Spider-Man, fucking Iron Man, is the best Marvel film, and this is the second best Marvel film. There you go. By default, but it's also very good. I enjoyed it.
You're gonna put like fucking Spider-Man 2002 in that category then, because that's not connected to anything.
I mean, that's good in other ways. It's a different list, but also very high up that list. I could see why. How was this received? First off, like in general,
I don't think it got great reviews, but it was very popular.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if like big Venom fans didn't like it because of the choices. I thought they were fine. I want him to go farther, right? I wanted him to be like, deeper into insanity and shit, but I understand why they didn't do that. But
on Rotten Tomatoes, 30% from critics, 81% audience score.
Yeah, that tracks.
And it made a lot of money. I don't know.
It was good. I like Tom Hardy.
It came out around the time of like A Star Is Born, think it came out like the same weekend. And then like there was like people who were all hyped for Star is Born, and then like Venom outperformed it.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it made like $200 million in the U.S. and like $856 million worldwide. So not quite $1 billion, but a lot of money.
I mean, yeah. I think like my ideal version is pretty much the same film, but instead of like, what is it, Riot, the like leader of the Venom boys or whatever.
Evil Venom, because it's a Marvel movie, so you have to have the hero fight a clone of himself.
Yeah.
His own copy.
I would nix that and instead like have this shit happen, right? But then I want to remove the antagonist and make the antagonist like a person versus self, you know, man versus self, and have Eddie Brock dealing with Venom and shit before reaching a similar resolution. But for what we got, I mean, still fine. It's just like,
yeah. I think just Tom Hardy gives a great physical comedic performance.
Dude, he does. Like, it was solid.
Like,
and him, like, in the restaurant and shit, it was pretty good.
Yeah, when he jumps into the fucking lobster tank,
and he's like,
dying.
"Oh, it's better. It's better.
I'm hot. Are you hot?"
He just picks up a lobster and crunches down. Venom, like, talking more, like, more of its own, like, a separate thing. I mean, pretty decent.
Yeah.
Decent.
Well, it's also because Tom Hardy has to do silly voices. That's what he likes to do. Is wear a mask and do silly voices.
So yeah,
that's what Tom Hardy is into. Yeah, I really like that movie. It bums me out doing the Venom story with no connection to Spider-Man.
It's a necessary sacrifice to keep it out of the MCU. I'm sorry.
I don't agree, but I like comic
my heart can't take it. I didn't want to watch the look.
He could just be in part of the multiverse. They can bring him in. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, if they're doing multiverse shit, like, please, just, you know? Like, him fighting Spider-Man would be fucking dope, but then, unfortunately, I'd have to watch all 46 Avengers things before watching Venom. You have to. Have to.
See, it's easy. You just watch them when they come out and never fall behind. Bam.
I mean, I did that for a while before I realized that
I
they
haven't
were
watched
going
Black Widow. It's just for the rest of your life. They're just never going to stop. Don't worry about it.
Ugh.
I mean, superheroes, they took over comics in the 40s, and they never stopped being the dominant form of comics ever since.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a superhero film crash?
I don't.
Is it too big to fail?
Not in the near future.
Not in the near future, certainly, no.
Like, what else are you going to spend? Like, I think it's more likely that blockbuster movies go away than that superheroes stop being what blockbuster movies are.
Sure.
I think, like, the whole thing comes crashing down before superheroes get replaced in it. Honestly, I think it's...
I mean...
I don't foresee how it stopped at this point.
Really?
For big spectacle CG blockbuster movie making.
And I'm kind of fine with it, because in theory, as it continues, like, they'll do more, right? And eventually
because the thing I look at them is like they're still so much, they could still be so much more ambitious and weirder.
Yeah,
still like
the weirdness is what I want.
Playing it safe.
Yeah.
And like it's the way they like the superhero movies like swallow every genre.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have your Black Widow's your spy movie. You have or you can do your heist movie, but it's Ant-Man or whatever. And like they're like if you're making a genre movie as a blockbuster, period, it's going to be compromised in dumb ways. It's more like a Hollywood spending that much money on a movie. It's going to eke blandness, and like superhero stuff has just been the best way for that to be effective consistently.
Yeah,
I guess.
No, it's not like I constantly tell Anya's brother like, nah, I don't want to see the new Marvel thing. But it's not because like I don't think they're objectively bad films. They're just very, very solid films. Like I think they would be great to go to the theater and eat popcorn and watch, but Yeah.
Yeah, I don't rewatch any of them. I watch them in the theater and then move on.
Like,
that's fine.
I probably would have enjoyed seeing the original Avengers film back in the day in theaters had it not been leaked on YouTube and I watched it the night before. That was an experience. I watched the entire thing, and my friend was like, yo, a bunch of us are going to the Avengers. Do you want to come with? And I'm like, are you going to pay for my ticket? Because I've already seen it. He's like, no, come on, it'll be fun. And then I finally got convinced to go, and he fell asleep during the film.
I mean, when you have, like, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier being like incredibly popular TV shows too, I don't see the superhero thing stopping.
Yeah.
Like the machine just shows no signs of slowing down, partially because like it got in the door and it got like established as like the ability for competitors to stand against it. Like all got fucked up.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like
it's more like it's like it's like when WoW became the most popular MMO. Like there was no MMO straight up that was ever going to topple it. What toppled it was other stuff, and like the descent, like MMO stopping being a thing everyone wanted to do, or as many people wanted to do, or whatever.
Yeah.
And like something else becoming the big thing. I feel like,
no,
I don't know where else blockbuster movies are gonna go, because like they were never that kind of high budget movie that everybody sees. We're never that far away from superhero stuff anyway.
Yeah, sure. I guess I suppose it seems like from what they've done thus far that my initial thing was way of thinking is like out of date already. Like if you just kept making fucking Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, but like they've I mean Iron Man is fucking dead, right? Yeah, so like at best we'll get a different Iron Man, and that's already past like however many years back, what I thought might happen. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is nothing's stopping them from making Iron Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, whatever. And I think if that would happen, then it would crumble. But they've clearly planned better than that, which is good, at least. If they get into weirder shit and they get into stuff that's not, like, I don't care if stuff is connected, but, like, I don't want as much bleed over. That's all it takes. Like I just don't want to have to deal with Avengers in my thing, like Spider-Man. I just want to watch fucking Spider-Man. I don't want to see. I don't want a fucking B plot with what's his name trying to bang Aunt May. First off, it takes away from my fantasy of banging Aunt May. Like, I don't want to deal with that shit.
Jon Favreau gave them the Mandalorian and Iron Man. They're gonna let him fantasize about banging Aunt May.
Dude,
that's his reward.
Dude, going back to the original Iron Man, he looks so young. Like he's a baby.
Does he?
He's a baby, dude. It's wild. Yeah. No, I'm like, I mean, stuff like being able to bring in like Venom versus Spider-Man would absolutely be dope. But I don't want like in the
Yeah.
downtime, I don't want fucking what's his name to go to like old Captain America for advice. Like,
No, we're getting the Spider-Man movie where he meets the Spider-Man from the other Spider-Man movies.
I mean, see, I'm in. Look,
That's
hit me.
I think that's what the next Spider-Man movie is.
Is
Like,
Tobey
those guys are all
Maguire? Is
cast.
Tobey Maguire coming back?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't know that was actually. I mean, I'd seen people fucking joking about it, but I thought it was a joke. Shit. I
I
mean,
think.
just when I thought I was out. Guess I gotta watch all the Marvel movies. Are they doing Spider-Gwen?
Oh, eventually for sure.
I have to. I mean, I'll be there for that, especially if they do the
Yeah.
Venom stuff. Maybe they can't if Sony is like, if that's
Yeah.
weird. But fuck, that'd be so good. I did want to revisit that because that was it's such a cool thing. I mean, the music especially like just it really spoke to me. Like that. Yeah, we're just in the same
Into
groove.
the Spider-Verse is such a good movie. I want more of those movies more than anything.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
I mean, honestly, just put a Venom in a Spider-Verse movie.
Oh fuck,
And
that'd
like,
be good.
I want that more than I want fucking anything else.
Oh, dude, that'd be so good.
Because I mean, that's like my thing is like that movie is just fucking so much better than all the other stuff.
Oh, dude, it's
Because
not
it
even
like
close.
just does the thing and doesn't worry about it, and it's
God.
not.
That, I mean, that movie,
Like, I will continue to watch all the Marvel stuff, but like, it is what it is. It's fine.
that the Spider-Verse film did for me with Spider-Man. I mean, maybe to an even greater extent, just because I haven't really ever I've never disliked Spider-Man. I just was kind of indifferent, except for the Broadway play
Yeah.
#1 fan checking in. But Spider-Verse did for me for Spider-Man what like Dark Lord of the Sith did for me with like I guess to an extent newer Star Wars like canon and also comics. Like I saw Spider-Verse and it was like holy fuck. Like this isn't just like Spider-Man. This is like really fucking good Spider-Man. Clearly.
I mean, it also like it has the advantage of being like the rare CG movie that looks different than a Pixar movie.
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
dude.
they actually like made different tools.
Yeah.
For that movie.
Oh, it's
Like,
so
man.
good. What you mean you didn't want to see another 3D animated film where they give the funny like the what's the Raya and the Last Dragon? Like why does the dragon have Disney princess fuck me eyes? I don't get it.
Because of Looney Tunes.
I don't need any more context for that. We can leave it there. Let it simmer.
I need to find an image of the new Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends show that's for babies. Just to send you. I just watched.
Yeah,
like,
we
I watched the
gotta.
trailer for
You know,
this just now.
I got my vacation coming up after I'm done with work today, and it's gonna take. We should probably just schedule Spectacular Spider-Man season 2 because it's gonna be pretty hard to resist.
Fair enough.
Spidey and His Amazing Friends.
His Amazing Friends are Miles and Gwen. Spider-Gwen, specifically.
I mean,
or Ghost Spider.
it is in fact quite literally a little golden book for babies. But I mean, it's probably a solid book for babies, you know.
Well, it's also a TV show
I mean, like
for babies. Clearly for babies.
literally
yeah.
for babies.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah. I literally just saw that the other day, so it was on my mind.
I mean, give me
And like I look at that, I'm like, they want to introduce Spider-Man to babies so that they can grow up to like Spider-Man.
yeah, dude.
I like Spider-Man, so that's fine.
I mean, give me I mean, either Spider-Man or just fucking all of Marvel, everything. That would be my like bring all of the heroes in, like instead of DC superhero girls, it's like Marvel something something, where they're all just like in high school together and nobody knows that the other
Sure.
people like. Yeah, it's good stuff. Fucking what's her name? Female Green Lantern, Jessica somebody, something. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Her and Poison Ivy, like BFFs, not BFFs, but friends, because they both care about the environment. But then, like, one of them shockingly cares in different ways. So in with their secret identities, they're like, yeah, we gotta save this tree, and then outside of that, Poison Ivy, of course, is like, gotta save the tree by watering it with blood.
I like the idea also that Poison Ivy only eats meat. No eating plants.
I mean, see, like that's pretty good.
No seasoning.
No seasoning. Well, some seasoning. Salt would be allowed. It's a rock.
Yeah, you can have salt. Salted meat. That's it.
They definitely do that. They definitely do that in that show. They like go for a camping trip, and I think that version of Green Lantern is like she's vegetarian or something. I don't know. They have like they're all like they have like vegetable kebabs over the fire, and like they have like these really overdone shots of them like stabbing the fucking vegetables and like the juice like splattering out, and like Poison Ivy is getting more and more horrified. She almost throws up or whatever.
Actually, this is honestly like here's the villain designs for that Spider-Man show.
Oh shit. Oh. I mean, like, I think they could look fine, except the only one who actually looks like a villain is Doc Ock. Like, the other ones just look like friendly. They look too friendly.
Yeah. They're very soft and
Yeah,
round.
like, oh, Rhino is like, I mean, Rhino looks like a hero. If you didn't know who that was, you'd think it was a superhero. He looks
totally.
heroic.
Green Goblin's got those rosy cheeks.
Yeah, he's like he's so precious. And then look at his pumpkin. Look how fucking happy his pumpkin is with those big round ass eyes. That's not an evil pumpkin bomb. That's like a little happy pumpkin popper. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll do like actually the Marvel thing that I'm looking forward to? I suppose that's coming out soon, no? The like What If series?
Yeah, starts this week.
Ooh. I'm glad I remembered. I'm looking forward to that. Like, that's my shit. That and the Star Wars equivalent.
Yeah, the 11th. So like 4 days from.
Oh, hell yeah.
Recording.
No, I'm ready for that.
I am hopeful. I hope it's not bad.
Yeah.
I hope I don't dislike it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it could be the best, or I could go, I don't like this.
Yeah. Yep.
It's also like fucking think fucking they have like Chadwick Boseman recording as T'Challa in that show.
Yes.
He did before he died.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild.
Because I think they just started. I mean, they did it like in segments, I think, right? So
Yeah.
like they just had the early stuff.
Yeah. Crazy. Getting sleepy. Yeah, I think that's an episode.
Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
talking about Venom for like 2 hours.
I mean, it's good
Again,
shit.
my favorite part of that Venom movie is when the Venom symbiote goes, "I'm kind of a loser."
On my planet.
On my planet, on my planet, I'm kind of a loser.
Which,
Yeah, that's
like,
original to that movie.
I mean, it's hilarious, but also I'm like, I don't want Venom to be a fucking loser.
There's definitely, if I were younger and heard that, I might not enjoy it so much. But in my
Old age.
decrepitude,
Yeah.
my geriatric
I mean, you have to be.
I find it hilarious.
You have to be careful with that shit, though. Like, something makes you laugh too hard, you might get a heart attack. You're so old.
I can't learn Spider-Man's true identity. I'll just die.
Dude, I just can't get over fucking Aunt May in that early comic where she literally has like a narrow ass head, like there's only skin and skull.
Yeah. The thing I learned about like the voice actor who played Aunt May in the 90s show is she voiced that character like as she was dying of brain cancer
Oh god.
until like they had to replace her because she passed away. But like they would write in like a line or two for her every episode. She would still come in so they could give her work. Like literally the Aunt May of my childhood was actually dying.
That's
Like fucking
weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was weird. That was weird to learn.
Yeah. Damn.
She wasn't that old either. She was only in her 50s. Really sad.
Oh, I mean, that's like up there when I learned that Land Before Time, the like 6-year-old girl that played Ducky, was like murdered by her father.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like just cursed beyond belief.
Yeah.
Shit's fucked. Venom's good though.
Venom shit is.
It's entertaining.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
I think what my big thing is like the comics where Flash Thompson becomes Venom are so much better stories
yeah.
than like any of the Eddie Brock stuff that came before it. I haven't read the newer Eddie Brock stuff, but that shit's just better stories because Flash Thompson's a better character than Eddie Brock.
I remember
I said it.
I think you said like there's been more Venom stuff released that you haven't read than the amount of Venom stuff you have read.
Yeah, it's getting close, I think.
Yeah.
They've put out
Meanwhile-
so much since I stopped reading.
Meanwhile, me like halfway through the Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 6, I'm like, I have to be getting close to reading every Venom thing in existence. This has been so much. Or the back of my head being like, this isn't even a fourth. Or
Nowhere near to a
nowhere near a fourth. Yeah. There's so much. I think this is the most we've read from like a variety of things. Or most I've read.
Yeah.
Maybe you're sitting on your symbiote throne, just not.
And I
having
live
to-
in a library.
I mean, yeah, but you don't have to. A lot of this stuff, you like, you can get away. You can get away with not reading all of it if you chose.
I mean, I only picked stuff I had already read.
I know, but like, if we...
So it was easy for me. Because
Yeah.
I had already read this
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
what
a
I'm-
million times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, not even like, oh, I read this once. Like, this is like, some of this stuff is just shit I would just stare at as a child.
Yeah.
Like, over and over again.
No, like, it's... Yeah. That advantage.
Like, I think the only things that wouldn't fall into that are, honestly, that Birth of Venom stuff, the first Venom stuff.
Yeah.
I did not ever like pour over, and Ultimate Venom I obviously didn't read till later. Everything else I was in my original comics phase.
Yeah, see, you just like... You could just look through them and remember and have that knowledge to help. I actually had to read the words and take in what was happening. It was cerebral.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, for that one. The overlined one. Yeah. Everything else was fine. That one was a struggle.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to round 2 with Carnage. What a lineup.
Yeah. There's good the Carnage shit I just think is also just kind of better stories. Looking back at it. As much as I hate to admit it, because I always felt like people who like Carnage is just like not nearly as cool. It's like, but he's always a villain, so it makes the story so much cleaner and easier.
Yeah.
Like the setup is so much more basic because there's no. I don't know if they've tried to do stories to redeem Carnage in more recent years. I don't think so. Because he's just a serial killer who gets the symbiote. He's just irredeemable.
I mean,
in a way Eddie Brock is never.
You say he's unredeemable, but I'll bet in a new comic he turns into Iron Man.
He does get robotic legs.
Oh,
because he got torn in half.
They turned him into Darth Maul. I see.
Yeah, he got physically ripped in half by the Sentry.
But was he ever...
The Sentry like pulled him out into space and then ripped him in half and then threw him back to Earth.
But was he ever a half robot spider?
I don't think so. I don't think they did the Darth Maul thing that directly. I think he just had robot legs. There was also a time like Venom steals the symbiote back from him, and then Cletus Cassidy just paints himself red and murders some people. He's just covered in red paint.
Unbelievable. Hell yeah. Yeah.
It's like an era where like they overpower Venom and like he like just literally steals the Carnage symbiote back to Cletus Cassidy, but then he fights Spider-Man and Spider-Man like lights a newspaper on fire and beats Venom with that.
Oh god.
It's like, not fire, no. It's like wild, like what are you doing, guys? That was a bad era of Spider-Man comics. though. The Howard Mackie era, post-Clone Saga. That's where they killed Mary Jane because she got on a plane that exploded, and then she was locked in a dude's basement for 1.5 years, real time.
Great. Yeah, that, you know, hell yeah.
So they could tell stories about Spider-Man getting horny for other women.
I mean, like, apparently he can. That fucking picture from Spectacular Spider-Man of him just swinging with Gwen and Mary Jane, and all three of them
he's
walking
saving
up.
their lives.
Whatever. Fucking moping around. Three hotties come up like, oh no. Why? This is, you know what? This is why incels happen. Because they think that by being a shitbag...
I don't see a lie.
By being a shitbag nice guy, they'll get all the, get all the girls. Ugh,
Yeah, I don't see the lie there. I don't disagree.
disgusting.
Uh,
Yeah, good episode. 2
Yeah.
hours of Venom. Good stuff.
2 hours. He deserves it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
deserves more. But you can see, like, with this background of Venom stuff, do you see, like, why that spectacular Spider-Man execution felt so sharp?
Yes.
Especially also.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Because
good
this stuff is sloppy. At best. It's at least just sloppy storytelling.
Yeah. No, it's God. That cartoon is so good. It's just so solid.
I know. If you want to shit talk the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's like that show ends because Sony and Marvel renegotiate their deal, and Sony lose in order to keep the movie rights. They lose the TV rights, and that's why that show
worst
ends.
trade deal in history.
They had to make the Amazing Spider-Man movies, Ben. The Andrew Garfield ones that are terrible.
Wow,
Nobody
yeah.
likes.
What a fucking thing. I'm sorry
And
that
then
we couldn't go to the fancy restaurant tonight, okay? I had to get pizza out of the dumpster in the alley. So,
yeah, and then Marvel started its own Spider-Man cartoon that I found unwatchable.
inadequate.
Peter Parker was too much of unlikable in that for me. It was like you took Peter Parker and combined him with Daniel X.
Oh,
would
so they
describe
murdered the
it.
franchise. I see. Spider-Man's dead forever. I got it.
Like, his internal monologue was
All right, hear
suddenly
me out.
incredibly obnoxious.
Hear me out. Daniel X becomes Venom.
There's an even newer Spider-Man cartoon after that one that I've like tried to watch an episode of, but didn't get that far in because I even checked it out because there's like toys that are like Maximum Venom. I guess they do like a
Ooh.
Maximum Venom season or something on that show. So that's like I'm intrigued.
I mean, it sounds like we're gonna
I just
die.
didn't like the show that much.
Oh.
But I only tried to watch the first episode, and I was like, meh. This is meh.
Have you looked? Do people like say it gets better? Maybe.
I have not seen anybody say anything about it. I have no idea what literally another human being thinks about it.
What's
Not even an
the
inkling.
title of it? The new one.
I don't remember.
Something Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's called Spider-Man. I don't know. Let me look on the Wikipedia list of Spider-Man TV shows. I think it's just. I think I was correct. I think it was just called Spider-Man. Yes, it is just Spider-Man. Because the one before that, the first one they did after Spectacular, which pissed me off, they called it Ultimate Spider-Man, but it wasn't Ultimate Spider-Man. So it had some of like those elements.
Yeah.
And I know like Spider-Gwen and Miles, I think, show up in later episodes of those shows.
Oh hell yeah. Oh,
I just
I'm
didn't
interested.
like at the base. I was not into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the third season of Spider-Man 2017 was called Spider-Man Maximum Venom.
That sounds like a lot of Venom, dude.
It sounds like a lot of Venom.
It's maximum Venom.
Like, there's a lot of. They've never done. They did Maximum Carnage. They did Maximum Clonage. They did Minimum Carnage. But Maximum Venom. They did Venom.
Marvel Marvels?
The Vietnam story.
Oh no! Holy
And
shit!
on the cover says VE''NAM.
That's
That's a comic that exists.
no fucking good, dude. That's
Venom.
fucking rough. You know, the Marvels, I'm looking at the 2000, like the logo for the 2017 show. It looks familiar. I feel like maybe it used to be on Netflix here.
Maybe.
I don't know. They have
Possible.
Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, and then, as I mentioned to you, just the 3 first films from the other versions. They got Spider-Man, they got Homecoming, and they got The Amazing Spider-Man. They have none of the sequels.
Also, that Maximum Venom season is only 6 episodes, apparently.
I mean, maybe
The
it's
show ends.
maybe the quality is just good.
It has Gwen and Miles in it.
I mean, it sounds like it sounds like we're gonna check it out. Maybe to dump on it.
Maybe. That could be.
Maybe not. Ugh. Why are there? Look at all these fucking the list of characters. Not only is there Spider Team and all the other supporting characters, but then the entire Avengers are there. The Guardians of the Galaxy, other heroes, and then there's like, I don't know, 50 villains. That's a lot of characters. Marvel's using too much of the studio space. They got to.
Well, this is what happens when Marvel makes the property. It's not like Sony, who only has the right to Spider stuff.
Things can just be their own things. Though.
Like in the 90s cartoon, the like version of Electro is like fucking, I forget. He's like a descendant. Like the Red Skull creates Electro, and like that Electro is like a Nazi.
Oh
For some
God!
reason. It's like the end of that show. That's like the ultimate super soldier, Electro. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's how you do it. And Black Cat in that show just has the super soldier serum. Like her dad just has photographic memory and memorized this Captain America super soldier serum, and that's how she gets superpowers.
Great.
Oh, also I didn't mention Black Cat in comics had superpowers. She has bad luck powers,
Jesus.
which she does not have, I don't think, in the show, Spectacular Spider-Man show. And she loses and then gets back in comic books. I don't remember how, but originally she's introduced with just having bad luck powers.
Okay. I mean, that's
You know, like because a black cat walks in front of you.
I mean,
you
that's
get bad luck.
like a shitty stereotype, but sure, yeah, no, that's fine. Like people out here fucking killing black cats or whatever, but no, let's lean into it. Bad luck. Is there a white cat that has good luck superpowers?
I don't think so. Anyway, there's a lot of Spider-Man stuff. There's a lot of Venom stuff. I can't believe how many Venom comics have come out since I stopped keeping up with comics.
Gotta read them all.
It's so much. I do feel like I have to read them all. It'll happen. I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
I will definitely do it. We didn't even talk about... So there's
Hank,
a period where Scorpion becomes Venom, and he just eats people. He totally just eats people.
Yeah. Brains, dude.
He's
Whatever.
the sinister Spider-Man? Because he's part of Norman Osborn's Avengers team that's all fake Avengers. So he's the fake Spider-Man. Norman Osborn is the fake Iron Man. He's Iron Patriot.
Ugh.
Iron Man, but like Captain America flavored. But it's Norman Osborn. Comics.
Comics.
Peace.